All right, so episode 1, let's go through what I've just been through in 30 days. It's the very first habit I attacked, and specifically because it was one of the most difficult that I knew I had to change, say, to get this healthier balance in my life. And the first thing it has to do with, if you can't tell already, is alcohol. So to me, I don't necessarily say alcohol is good or bad. Alcohol is what it is. I'm neither condemning or condoning it. I'm just presenting it from my experience and what I think about it. So what's most important is that to acknowledge is it's a substance, and it can come with, say, abuse and misuse. And so you have to be very careful with how you integrate it. There's some of those who are, say, more equipped and our temperament's a little bit better with, say, we can have, our 1 glass of wine a day. We can have just our 1 drink, and that's actually a great fit into a balanced lifestyle. And then there's others of us like me that, the first one leads to the second one, and just on we go. Now, I'm not here to do an alcohol lecture just because it's such a, say, huge topic and it has a lot of different elements to it, but I just want to kind of present it just in terms of, calories real quick, because I talk a lot about nutrition and calories, and just say maybe some of the ways you can incorporate it in balance, but why I don't have it, say, at all right now, and why I have a long-term, this is what I call a long-term restriction. This is a minimum of 6 months for me. That's my goal anyway. And it's just in order to, say, hit this very aggressive goal I have with changing my physique. Because if I'm drinking like last year in, say, a transformation, I wasn't able to get as lean as I want to because of the extra calories, and I start eating more. Okay, so super quick on calories. This is pretty simple, and you could probably find this stuff on Google, but say when you're drinking harder alcohol, some people like that. I myself, I'm gonna tend to do more mixers, and I'm gonna have, say, 0-calorie Cokes and things like that to mix in. But generally, shot glass 1.5 ounces is gonna be about 100 calories for, say, your clear liquids. You can go look it up. They can go up to more if they're more sugary. But for the most part, in calorie tracking, say this is the easiest way, call it about 100 calories. And then if you had, like, say, a mixed drink, had a couple ice cubes, a shot, and then, say, maybe a Coke Zero is what something like I would do. And then I would just have my 1 drink, say, with, whatever usually if I'm having harder alcohol, I'm gonna not be eating, but I'm gonna just be, say, maybe being more social. And that's one of the benefits, is that, let's say, for alcohol itself, I don't call it, let's say, bad or immoral. And as a matter of fact, in my personal beliefs, let's say my religious beliefs, I am not against alcohol. I just know that it's the effects that come from overuse and abuse, and in the state of drunkenness that creates havoc and problems. It's not having the glass of wine. It's really just going too deep into it, the overconsumption and the things you do in a state of drunkenness that causes the regret, that causes those, say, issues that are going to turn into potentially long-term problems. You know what? It's easy to get. This is easy to obtain, but it's still, like I said, a substance. It's something that comes with, say, the potential for addiction. Mixed drinks is one. Another one is beer. So, like, have a pint, something I really enjoy. One of the best parts about beer for me is it just has a different taste. Personally, I like IPAs just because they're a little bit more bitter, a little bit different. I eat so much food. It's one of those rare opportunities I can get a flavor that's just different than unlike I'd have in food. It just gets to where it becomes a habit and I'm doing it every day. Then, you know what I'm having, that's 300 maybe extra calories. IPAs are a little bit higher in calories. If you go to beer, you can say switch to light beer, but then again, like, am I chasing the effect or the taste? Well, me personally, I like the taste. And could I have non-alcoholic beer? Sure, but I don't like the way that tastes. I like the way IPAs taste, and so it's one of those things where it's just hard to keep in balance for me, but that's one way to think about it. Anywhere between 200 and 300 calories for a pint of beer, that's gonna add up. I don't drink wine. It's something that I have an aversion from, and at a young age, I drank a lot of wine in a very short amount of time. I got very sick. I started puking everywhere. I thought I was gonna die. And to this day, the smell of wine, the taste of wine, I still can't do it without gagging. But yeah, wine is one. Some people like, with certain, meals. My wife was one of them. A glass of wine after a hard day, whatever. They all have different effects and how they can hit the brain, right, for relaxation. I 100% agree. That's one of the top reasons that people have alcohol, and myself included, is it does have, say, a relaxation or like a sedation to it, right? It's not the feeling of being wasted like with, say, a drink, and that's going to depend really on your tolerance, you know, your build and gender and things like that. But really, if you're having that one glass in moderation, it's just something that's in your habits, you know, the 100, 150 calories, probably worth it in your world. There's just a little beer. I don't have any beer at home right now because I don't want to be tempted. In the end, the hard alcohol is the one, like I said, it's the one that can get you probably in the most trouble just because of how fast it can hit. It's something that, especially as you drink more of it, it seems easier to drink, right? What's happened to me in the past is that I had alcohol and I had it and I was still getting leaner. The problem is I had to sacrifice food because these are calories. And so if I'd have 4 drinks, you know, as my tolerance was building, and that was my, say, sweet spot, now I have to give up more food. And so, like I said, it's just all about moderation and balance. And like I said, you know, for me, if I was doing, say, a goal and like maybe it had nothing to do with alcohol, but let's suppose I made some accomplishment, like let's say, like for instance, my graduation's in May, and maybe I will have a drink or two, you know, to celebrate with others. And so this would be something, you know, Patron's a really good tequila, and actually The Rock, because you probably see him drink this kind of stuff. So it's, you know, in the world of health and fitness, alcohol isn't gonna prevent you from getting goals. It just depends on, say, your temperament, your personality, your environment, if you're prone to, say, you know, getting out of control with the substance. It really is just, there's a number of different things. So I can't really say specifically what you should or shouldn't do. It's something you have to think about and consider. Day 1 is going to be about reformulating habits. So we took something out and we're going to put something in today. Day 4, and unfortunately I'm not feeling great. I'm feeling a little sick. It's one of those things when you come across adversity, you just kind of have to push through and, you know, just stay focused the best you can, kind of survive it out, you know, just make sure not to overdo it. It's just not the best timing, but I'm just gonna, you know, keep with it, just do my best and just keep on pressing. Got a fresh shave just to make myself feel a little bit better, you know, that I'm on a different path, a different road, trying to transform, right? So that's kind of what I think, is you kind of find those little things and make little changes, and just keep positive and keep focused. So that's what I'm gonna do. It's just, like I said, not the best timing. That's it for today, and good luck to you on day 4. It's kind of a hard one to pass for most people, so it's not easy. And if it was, then everyone get to their goal. So I have a very specific goal, and I'm gonna get to it, so I'm not gonna give up. Day 6 is done. It's been a hard week. Still a little bit sick, but I'm getting over it. Most importantly, I'm getting to my goals. I'm really just having faith in this because it hasn't been easy. So when you're looking to change your lifestyle and there's some, say, something holding you back and something you need to pull out, and like I said, I do believe in restrictions sometimes, just because it can take you down a path that's really hard to come back from. So that's where I'm at right now. So we got one more day, and tomorrow will be day 7, and then we're on to that first, what I call real week, of when the actual changes start making a difference, so, and really helping you. Okay, so we made it day 7, and I'm finally done. Pretty much just got tonight. I'm gonna go do some activity, I guess you could say, some curling, go have some fun. I would say the first 2 weeks, I for sure didn't want to be around it. I didn't want to see it. I was having headaches every day around normally when I'd have, say, a drink or 2 after work or before bed. My sleep, I was so used to, say, having a drink before bed sometimes that it altered my sleep. It was kind of a nightmare. I'll say I feel a lot better, and I'm actually very proud. It's something that I couldn't do on my own. It's something, you know, thanks to, say, my goals and this whole project, my spiritual beliefs, that helped me a lot through this, and just reading things to encourage me. And so you just have to think about, what do you want to change? What do you want to start with? Hform is designed to get you started. So for me, I had to give up alcohol, and it's gone for at least another 5 months, just because I have a very specific purpose. Now, if yours is, say, life change and you're really trying to transform, maybe you've had a problem with alcohol or something else that's just your crutch. It's something you can't get over. It's an Achilles heel, right? That takes you out of the game and getting healthier maybe every year, and I've had that. What you should do first is think about that and really focus on wanting that change, and just knowing that you're not alone, and there's a number of ways you can attack, say, change. So that's pretty much it. Alcohol is the first thing I had to attack, just because it's the one that can take me away from my goals. How was my 28 days? Well, obviously successful, because in the beginning, it was really difficult even to be around alcohol or say be at the bar. I had to avoid a couple scenarios. I was actually very specific with my wife on, going out. I said, I cannot go out, I cannot be around. It's just too much of a temptation. I'm not there yet. And that's like I said, that's what comes with some substances. They're hard to remove. And it's the reason why I took it on first, because if I can get this one out, the rest are just gonna maybe work themselves out. They're gonna seem easier. And in Hform, that's what I want you to understand. Probably the best way to approach it, not for everyone. Some people may just start with something easy, but in my world, I think taking the hardest one out is a little bit easier, because once that one's out of the way, it all just seems kind of downhill. And that's really my psychological approach is, tackle what's hard first and then move on. Now, if you're having a hard time getting started, take on something easy. So what's gonna be most important in Hform is that you kind of just step back and make sure, you have to think about yourself, think about your environment, think about those around you. Does it benefit them as well? Because sometimes I've done habits and changes that actually negatively affect those around me. So just a couple little things to consider, before we stop it here. Until the next one, take care, peace out. And I don't mean to get too emotional, but that's what happens sometimes in life change and when you're trying to do better. Looking forward to the next one to show you that it was a little bit easier. I chose something that also has become a problem over time, and it's something you would never expect. So stay tuned till the next one.